Hi there, I'm Tasha Cleveland with Latitudes Gallery, and this is our final weekend of Makeover May. You've got 2 more days left. You got till Monday to submit your photo for your chance to win $1,000 in Latitudes artwork. And so we are celebrating the weekend with lots of lives all weekend long. And today's entry is Leon. So let's take a look at Leon's room. So the fun part of this entry was that he submitted this room with this image as his request. Oh, let me go back. With this image for this wall. And I was like, wow, it's pretty much perfect. There are so many beautiful things about this layout that I wouldn't change a thing. I adore this image on this wall. I love the dark little accent in this corner tying into the black on the table. And do you see how fun this splash is with this rug? It's like the water just jumped out onto the floor, like someone get a mop, because it looks so real. So I am head over heels with his choice. And when I was prepping this room to work on, I was like, I can't really do a live here. I have nothing to teach anyone. I don't know what to say beyond bravo. And then Leon's wife, Patty, sent a message and she said, we can't wait to see what you do with Leon's room. And I thought, I wonder if Patty knows that Leon already knows what he likes. And I am reminded of that so often in the gallery. Patty might already know what he's selected, but she might not. And I often get this question with customers in the gallery. What do we do? Because he loves this one and I love this one, and we just can't agree. We don't know which one to pick. And so there's a couple things that I do when I'm working with couples. And the most important thing is to have a place where you can pull all the images into one pot. So I tell everyone to go to latitudesgallery.com and make a profile. That's the cute little profile head, and make a favorites folder. And so what you can do is tap that little heart icon. And I tell the couples to have one, to each person go separately and tap those hearts and drop them in the folder. And then when you're left with only things that both of you love, then you can see where your middle ground is. Then you can see which images are the ones that speak to both of you at the same time. And often I find that couples don't realize they do agree. And there is an image that they both love in their space. And so for today's entry, I thought it might be fun to take on the challenge of assuming that Patty does not want this picture. So if Patty did not want this exquisite Key Beach, which I'm kind of in love with right here, kind of in love with it here. If she did not want this on this wall, what would I do then? And we will play with placement in a minute, but let's look at the other choices. So the thing to remember, and I will drop this on the screen again, because I want you to remember that every image contains emotion. And it is up to you what that emotion is. Everyone's life experience is going to change the lenses they view everything through, and that includes artwork. And so when you are looking at this image, you might find this powerful. You might find this relaxing because you might be a surfer and you're like, yes, we are ready to get in that barrel. Everyone is going to see something different. And so as we scroll through these images, notice what emotions you feel. Notice how it makes you feel in the space. And I think all of these images look really quite beautiful in here, but each one evokes a different emotion. This one is similar. So let's pretend Patty doesn't like the explosive nature of this image. So I'm going to make this big again so you can really see it. on their wall. Let's say she doesn't like the explosive nature of this. And I find that a lot with couples, that one person wants a certain emotion, which is very dramatic, and the other person wants something more calming. And when it's a shared space, you got to agree. So how do you find the thing that is common for both of you? And that just takes looking at a lot of images and dropping them in and then kicking out what are absolute no's until you get down to the very best. So let's say this one has too much energy for her. It's too exciting. This one might be a little bit calmer. This one might be a little more intense. This one is a similar feel to the Ke'e Beach explosion. It's got that burst of energy, but it also has this tranquil experience in the foreground that's very much like you could jump in there and take a little bath. And I don't think you should. I think that's kind of dangerous, but just a disclaimer. But it feels a little bit calmer to me. This one, oh my goodness. Again, I love when images pull together all the colors of the space. Not only do I love when it pulls together the colors that exist there, but I also love when it pulls in a deeper dimension of that experience. So oftentimes, like this exquisite room that they have, there is a distinct color palette. There is a distinct set of colors that they're using for their space. And I love pulling those into the artwork, but also adding a little more richness to the space with those colors. So do you see how you've got some of these darker navy colors up here in the mountain range, but you also have this vibrant blue and you have this aqua blue that's kind of fun, that later on, maybe they want to mix it up and get some new throw pillows and they could pull those colors instead. I also am kind of in love with having artwork that has greenery in it, because then anytime you have greenery in your space, it ties it all together. It makes you feel like you're outside. Greenery is the easiest decor item that you can use to ground your space, to make it feel alive. When you have a hole and you don't know what to do with it, and a space on a table or an empty shelf, put a plant there. Start there, because it has life to it without being cluttered. And it's going to ground you in your space, unlike many other things. And so when you've got the life in the artwork, like we've got here with these beautiful palms and whatever this lush foliage is on, I think this is Shipwrecks Beach. Black Mountain, it says. So when you've got this lushness in the art and then you pull it into your space with your greenery, it's a win for me. It always makes me feel more connected. Now, this one is an entirely different emotion. This one is very calming. This is kind of the opposite of what we're looking at with Ke'e Beach Explosion. This one, wow, Ke'e Beach. I mean, really, Leon, I don't know if I could pick a better one, but if I were to try and go the opposite direction, this is a great one. It's got the richness of the rocks, the sand tone that matches your floor. We've got some dark elements to it to tie into the black points in the space, and all of these gorgeous blues. So that would be probably if we were looking for the polar opposite. And this one, it's incorporating some of the golden tones that we don't really have in the space. And so as much as I'd love for it to work, it's not working for me. Here we go. So this feels like a compromise. So say that Leon really wanted that life, that explosion of that water. But say that Patty was like, oh, I need to see more. I need to see more of like where it's located. I need more of a scenic. I need it further back to have, the orientation of what I'm looking at. Well, this accomplishes that. You've got all of the same colors that existed with the Ke'e Beach Explosion. And you've got that added dimension of the additional richness of those same colors, just in different layers. And you've got the explosion, but you also have some of this interesting silkiness of the water falling off of the rocks. And even though it's choppy out there, this is the Nepali coast where two currents collide and create these incredible waves, there is some stillness here as well, and in the sky. So if we were to select something that was essentially a compromise, trying to combine two worlds, I would probably steer them towards this. If we are going with Leon's original request, which is phenomenal, Leon, I am in love with Ke'e Beach Explosion on your wall. So those are things to keep in mind when you are narrowing down artwork for a space that's a shared space for a couple. Remember, it's easiest to throw it all in the pot that you both like separately and kick out what are absolute no's. Then you're left with the maybes and the yeses, and somewhere you'll find middle ground. So thank you so much for joining me on today's second of 3 live room renderings for Makeover May. You can have your chance to win your $1,000 of Latitudes artwork at latitudesgallery.com. Search Makeover May, and all you have to do is send in a photo of your space. Everyone gets a fair shot. We are pulling the winner on Tuesday live, and we can't wait to see who wins. Thank you so much for all the entries. Keep them coming. You got 2 more days after today. Send it in. Thanks so much.